Hi, this is Mike Starr with the Journey into Peace, Creating Your Heaven on Earth program. Today's focus is going to be on owning our happiness. I'd like to quote from Invictus, written by William Ernest Henley, who passed back in 1903. In the last few lines of Invictus, at least one of the portions of that poem, it says, "I am the master of my fate, I am the captain of my soul." And in happiness, I have found that it is essential that we own our own happiness, that we don't look to others to bring happiness to us, that happiness must generate from the inside out. If anything, we can be a source of joy and addition to other people's lives. We can't necessarily make them happy, but we certainly can add some goodness into their life. And I would encourage all of you to be the masters of your fate, be the captains of your souls in owning happiness. And don't look to others to change. That is folly. We've talked about problems with expecting other people to change, trying to change other people. It leads to frustrations, resentments, angers, conflict. It's not a healthy, nor is it a very successful approach in our dealings with relationships with people, particularly people that are close to us and that we love. So, in the Journey into Peace program, we've talked about a number of tools, our empowering mantra with a activator that reminds us to say it throughout the day. I've shared my mantra that I am bulletproof, I'm compassionate, I'm growing in my happiness, my contribution, and my harmony with others. It should be a mantra that when we say it makes us kind of feel strong or hopeful or optimistic, feels empowered. And also we have our meditation practices that we're doing daily. I've asked particularly to focus on meditating on compassion. Our theme has been, and is in this program, is compassion, clarity, and conviction. Through compassion with others, we realize that they can't help being who they are, and we also begin to have the distinction and realization that all we can do is to show our caring, show our love, and perhaps set boundaries with consequences in interacting with people in a healthy manner. Other part of the program is to focus on a positive improvement area, whether it be physical fitness, a relationship with a loved one, something in our health, a work-related issue, perhaps some financial investments we're thinking to do, and to progress that is in what we call simple, tiny efforts of progress, and to celebrate those, to savor those successes, those little successes, because it's the little minnows that we catch that really matter as we do that consistently. And lastly, I did ask and have asked that you identify an elephant in a room, some issue that we tend to deny is a big problem, something that burdens us, that holds us back, something that is a real limit in our joy and happiness, and to take little bites out of that each day in simple, tiny efforts of progress. In this program, I have also suggested and promised and encouraged that we become fishermen and fisherwomen of peace, harmony, progress, and to do so, we have to put a line in the water. We have to put a net in the water. It does take some actions. But I ask that they only be small, tiny actions, and do them consistently and daily, and stay focused on that one or two areas. Don't try to solve world hunger too quickly. And I think you'll build your self-efficacy, I hope you will, and confidence in your ability to bring more peace into your life. A little bit about happiness and owning happiness. If we look to others to make us happy, like they need to do this and that, and when they do this and that, I'll be okay, I'll feel good. I think we are destined to have a lot of angst and upsetment in our lives. When we focus on compassion and showing our caring through our understanding and empathy for others, We have the full ability to do that. And there is something very, very calming in being compassionate and caring. In a way, it's a surrendering to what is and giving up that futile fight that so many of us have fought for way too long in resisting what is, and what we resist will persist. And we surrender to what is. And we have our compassion and our love and our caring that we project and make our very best case we can for others. Then we move forward. There are times that others' behavior may be toxic, upsetting, difficult for us. And that's a case where we do set our boundaries with consequences. Talked a bit about when we set boundaries is to speak in terms of their behavior, not in terms of them. So when you raise your voice, when you are using vulgar language with me, then we talk about our feelings. It makes me feel scared or unhappy or upset or insecure. And then we talk about our consequences. And I feel a need to protect myself. And I will leave the room. I will go for a drive. I will not engage in that conversation. In the journey into peace, it is essential that you become captains of your fate and masters of your souls. It is critical that you own that. You can be compassionate. You can set boundaries with consequences. You can meditate. You can change your inputs. We talked about if we change our inputs, it changes our outputs. What we eat, what we drink, what we inhale, what we look at, what we read, what we listen to, what conversations we choose to be engaged with. If someone started a conversation with me and said, "Hey Mike, I really feel that all men over 6 foot tall should wear green shoes," I'm not going to engage in that conversation. I'll be like, "Well, I'm glad to see that you feel that way, and certainly you have a right to that opinion." Now, I realize that's a preposterous topic, but you know what? Some of the topics that people want us to engage with are equally preposterous. So be mindful in the moment of now and recognize these potential conversations and don't engage. Be kind, be compassionate, be caring. So I see you feel very strongly about, could be a political issue, a religious issue, could be a work issue, it could be a person issue. But we have the ability not to engage. Now we can acknowledge them, and in another time I'd like to talk a little bit more about the value of listening from the heart, so that when people speak, we listen for the words and what their message is, but we're also observing their emotions and their feelings. And acknowledge them, because people so wish to be cared for and acknowledged. And so we say, "Hey, I get it that you really upset about the fact that Harry didn't wash your car on Saturday like he said he would. And I could see where that made you not ever want to talk to Harry again, even though he has been a friend of yours for 30 years. I can get that. It's probably hard for you, isn't it?" I know. So we don't have to agree with him. We don't have to empower him to not be a friend with Harry, but we acknowledge them. We show we get that they're upset. And it makes it so easy on us not to become defensive or try to convince them or change their mind. And often when they hear themselves through us being their mirrors in their conversation, they'll be like, "Well, maybe I'll talk with Harry again in a week or two." So we don't have to fight that battle, because sometimes people subconsciously will egg us into an argument. There's something somewhat bittersweet for folks to engage in arguments. Maybe it's a way to relieve stress or cope with anxiety. but I don't choose to get in that fight. That's not my place that I want to go. But I acknowledge them. I get that what their feelings are and what their words are, and but I don't engage in that dialogue. So listening from the heart, a subject for another time, an important part of bringing more peace into our lives. Because just because someone has a very strong opinion about something that is in contrast to what we believe, they have a right. I mean, they have a right to feel whatever they want. If they think that men over 6 feet should wear green shoes, hey, knock yourself out, And if they feel that people should be able to go 200 miles an hour down the highway, hey, I'm not going to be following you around giving you a speeding ticket. I'll leave that up to somebody else. I don't agree with it, but I can't stop them if that's what they really want to do. And so I hope you could see that when we have that attitude, it frees us. We're free to move forward and not get caught up in somebody else's particular issues. One thing I did want to review is I talked about how in business and personally that leaders are readers, and that as we change our input, we begin to affect our output. So things we read affect us as well as things we listen to. An excellent book I highly recommend is Winning with People by John Maxwell. I have read and reread this book numerous times. It's an easy read. It has a number of small principles that are discussed and examples given that are very, very pertinent, I think, to successful relationships. John Maxwell happens to be one of the people I truly admire as a leader, a motivational speaker, and as a human being. I'd like to read from the inside cover of the book from John Maxwell. He says, "Many people focus on other talents and abilities first, such as polishing their communication or leadership skills, or taking courses to expand their base of knowledge. But they forget that good relationships are the foundation for achievement. They are more than just the icing on the cake in life. They are the cake, the very substance we need to live successful and fulfilling lives. Fortunately, you can learn to become a people person and succeed in the things that matter the most." Winning with People, an excellent read, a great companion to take along with you in your journey into peace. Additionally, I wanted to also review in owning your happiness. Being the master of your fate and the captain of your soul is to know who you are, know what your beliefs are. They may refine and evolve over time, but we'll be really clear. The theme in this program has been compassion, clarity, and conviction. So as we progress our compassion, as we improve our clarity, we solidify our conviction in a healthy and wholesome manner. One of the terms that I coined and I reviewed in a previous YouTube video was RIB, rib, like the rib. Routines, integrity, and beliefs. For you to continue to be fishermen and fisherwomen of peace, it is very critical, very important that you have this compass to carry with you. Know what it is truly important to you, what is you believe is very right and very wrong, and compare what your beliefs with your routines, your actions, and continue to draw them closer and as best as possible to integrate them into one. And you will know that where you are is where you're supposed to be, and what you're doing is exactly what you should be doing. There's not this angst of being somewhere where you're not. In my younger days, I worked rather hard, 72 to 80 hours a week. And when I came home, I was thinking about work and preoccupied with that. And when I was at work, I was often thinking about what was going on at home. I wasn't being where I was. in my beliefs and what were important with my family and my work were very out of sync. So know what's right and wrong for you. Believe your beliefs, your convictions. Look at your routines, how you spend your time day to day, week to week, and make sure they're in harmony and in alignment. That is an excellent foundation for bringing peace into your life. So, my friends, own your happiness. Don't look to others to bring it to you. Know what you believe in and judge yourself not from others' comments. Don't look for other people to create your identity. Don't be caught up in approval and running your life crazy with trying to get other people's approval. Know who you are. Act from the inside out. Spread your joy and happiness to others. Be a source of strength, love, compassion, and harmony to the so many people around you. And continue on being fishermen and fisherwomen of peace. For in creating our heaven on earth, we come to see that it's not a place, but a process and a progress and way of being, a way of seeing, a way of believing, a way of engaging, a way of being the master of our fates and the captains of our souls. Sat Nam, my friends.